Welcome to Sleep Tight Frights, the place where bedtime stories don't always end sweetly. I'm Evergrey, your storyteller in the shadows. Each tale is a little strange, a little spooky, and just creepy enough to keep you peeking over the covers. So settle in, close your eyes, but don't fall asleep just yet. Tonight's tale will take you into the woods to a waterfall that doesn't just roar, it weeps. So zip up your sleeping bag, turn out the lights, and listen closely, because once you hear it, you'll never forget the sound. This is The Waterfall That Cries. During the day, the waterfall was beautiful. It roared, it sparkled, it sprayed mist that made rainbows when the sun hit just right. Families hiked to it in the summer, following windy trails and wooden signs carved with names like Wishing Rock and Whisper Pool. Teens dared each other to cross the slippery stones just beneath the cascade, and the younger kids like Lila tossed pebbles into the pool below to time their throws with the rhythm of the falls. The water always took them. No matter how big or small, the stones never made it back up, washing them into the earth, Grandpa used to say, back to where they came from. But at night, the waterfall changed. Lila lived close enough to hear it from her window. She used to fall asleep to its steady roar, like a lullaby wrapped in thunder. It made her feel safe, strong, unbothered, until one night it stopped. Not slowly, not fading, just gone. In the silence, Lila sat straight up in bed. Then she heard something else. Not soft rain, not a trick of the wind, but crying. Long, slow, aching sobs that seemed to stretch down the hill and into her bones. The kind of crying you didn't want to hear because it meant something had been hurting for a long, long time. She pulled her blanket tight and waited. Eventually the sound faded into the wind. In the morning, Lila asked her mom about it. Must be the wind in the trees, her mom said, wiping down the breakfast table. Or rocks shifting, added her dad, not looking up from his paper. But Lila knew what crying sounded like. And this was crying. That night the sobbing continued, stronger, more desperate, and then clear words. Please help me. So cold, so lonely. Lila clapped her hands over her ears, buried her head under her pillow, but the voice, it wasn't scary. It was sad, and worse, real. By the third night she wasn't sleeping at all. At school she couldn't focus. At dinner she barely ate. Still thinking about that waterfall? Her mom asked gently. Lila nodded. Maybe you should go down tomorrow. See it in the daylight. Remind yourself it's just water. Lila didn't say anything, but it didn't feel like just water anymore. That night, wrapped in her thickest blanket and carrying the biggest yellow flashlight her grandpa gave her, Lila waited until the house was quiet. Then she slipped on her boots, crept down the back steps, and walked towards the woods. The path felt different. The usual chirps and rustles were gone. No owls, no crickets, just her boots crunching along the dirt trail and the soft murmur of crying ahead. Even the trees seemed to lean away from the sound. At the edge of the clearing, Lila stopped. There was the waterfall, but not the one she knew. Gone were the rainbows and roaring foam. The water dripped in uneven streaks as if they were leaking sorrow. And when her light hit the falls, it shimmered, not with sunlight, but with the faint, ghostly outline of hands. Dozens of them, pushing outward from beneath the surface. Please help me. Lila stepped forward, heart hammering. The mist was freezing. It clung to her skin like invisible fingers. And then she saw her. A figure beneath the water. A girl, Lila's age. Maybe even exactly her age. Hair floating like black threads in ink. Eyes wide and glowing. Tears streamed upwards like smoke pulled in the current. She didn't blink, just watched. Her hands pressed against the watery surface like it was glass. Don't be scared, Lila whispered, stepping closer. I'll help. The girl's mouth moved, but no sound came out. She nodded, slowly. Lila reached out one hand. Just as her fingers brushed the water, the crying stopped. completely. The figure smiled, but it wasn't a smile of thanks. It was too wide, too sharp. Her eyes, no longer glowing, turned black as the deepest part of the pool. The water cracked. The hand burst through and pulled. Lila gasped, trying to scream, but the water rushed into her mouth. She twisted, fought. The flashlight fell, the blanket slipped, and then silence. The forest stood still. The waterfall roared again, just as it always had. The next morning, everything looked normal. Families hiked, kids tossed pebbles. No one noticed the missing girl from the cabin by the woods. No one except the waterfall. That night, when the wind picked up, so did the crying. Only now the voice was different, younger, more afraid. Please help me. So cold, so lonely. And if you listen closely, if you dare to stand near the edge, you'll see her. A girl behind the water, hair floating, eyes wide, waiting. Because the waterfall doesn't want to be alone. And now it has Lila. But it may want one more. Just one more. Thanks for listening, and if you like this story, don't forget to follow, share, and leave us a little love. New chills drop every week, sometimes every day. Until then, sleep tight. Thank you for listening to Sleep Tight Frights. It means more than you know, to us and to the things that listen back. I'm Ever Gray, your guide through the shadows, and if you felt something was watching as the story unfolded, you're not alone. They remember the ones who listen, they wait for the ones who return. So come back soon. Sleep tight if you can.